Okay. Just gotta rest up a little bit. Just took down too many guys. Okay. Dude. Bro, I'm just trying to get my stuff. I just got killed by a gnome. Okay. That just happened. Hey guys, Thief Mecha here. I'm giving you guys a little bit of a different type of game review. I'm going to talk about some of the gameplay that I've been having. I went to level 80 and then I recorded some things, some mechanics, the cash shop, how it all works, the enchantments, upgrading your stigma stones. There's a lot of different things in this game after level 80 that I wanted to show you in the mechanics that I had during that period of time, and sections of the game that were definitely necessary to show to people before they jump into Aion in 2020. Okay guys, I just wanted to start off here with my in-game review of Aion. So this is the title screen. As you can see here, I am level 80 and I am playing the truly free version without the prestige pass. And I got up to level 80 already. So let's get into the game and I'll show you some more. Hey guys, Thief Mecha here, and I wanted to show you my level 80 character in Aion. So this is my character, and as you can see here, I got a full set of gear, and if you look, you get all these pieces of armor, which is anything from the head to accessories to earrings to rings, weapons, shields, cloaks, you name it. This game definitely has it, and it has all your stats here on the right hand side. So the Endgame gear that you get, this is the gear that you get at 76. And that's the grind to level 80. And I wanted to point this out is because this is actually just given to you at that point. It looks awesome. I really love it. But here's the issue here. So if you go in my inventory here, I have right now I have all this PvE gear right here. As you see there, the Rizal Helm, legendary pieces of gear, and it says PvE underneath it. And then they also gave me a PvP set here too as well to jump you into the PvP. The problem is with that is that all of the actual quests here on level 80, so forth, all of the actual rewards are not as good as what they gave you. So all of the rewards from level 76 all the way up to 80 is basically useless. Yes, that's right. They gave you absolutely zero incentive to do any of the quests from level 76 to 80. And you can see here that in this game, when I log into here, this is the place where a bunch of level 76 plus players, level 80 players, and they're pretty much getting all their dailies and weeklies from this place right here. And you see my frames per second here dropping down to almost single digits here because there's so many people in one spot. This is definitely a big issue when it gets down to larger PvP battles, is that the frames drop so bad in this game. That's right. The MMO that is free to play, and then when you get to the end game, is so concentrated on PvP that it's so poorly optimized when there's more than 30 people, 20 to 30 characters on the actual screen itself. Your frames per second is going to dip down so low, it's almost unplayable. So this is the world map that everybody kind of just... You base everything off of this map. We're down here in the ancient sanctum of life, and this is the end game, one of the end game maps here. This is a PvP / PvE zone. And what that means is that all these dailies and weeklies comes from this starting area, and the opposite faction comes from this area. And this whole map is kind of shared between you, the Elios, and the opposing Asmodeans in one big map. So this map shows both of the factions here, and then there's actually clashing places here that you'll see as Modians walk by doing their dailies and weeklies as well. And this is a good way to engage in world PvP. This is also a good way of getting killed. So if you are a PvE character and you just want to do PvE content, besides the limited amount of dungeons you do in the game, there's nothing else for you to do. You do dailies, you do weeklies, but they're also in PvP zones, so you always will walk into the opposing faction, and you will always struggle because there's also people that are much more geared than you when you reach level 80. But the problem here with this PvP that I've noticed is that if you see here, underneath my equipment, it says headgear, gladiator, Templar. It's untradeable and cannot be brokered. So all the stuff that they gave you, you cannot sell at all, number one. Number two, underneath that, you see that there's Pve Enchantments, mana stones, and expansions are possible with this type of armor. So as you can see here, I only have about like 5 million Kana. This is the actual currency in this game. And when you reach to the end level and you go through the fetch quests that you get to level 80, this is the problem that we have here, is that you are so short on money, and it seems like a lot, but when you're actually going to some place to buy something and to purchase armor or to purchase upgrades for your armor, the problem is it costs millions and millions, maybe even billions of Kana. It depends on what you're getting, and this is actually all RNG. So if you see here, this can be expanded, the chest can be expanded, every single piece of gear can be expanded on, and Pve Enchantments. So these Pve Enchantments are not something that you just buy and then you get. This is actually RNG. So this gives you a possibility of upgrading the armor. And then there's Stigma Stones, and the Stigma Stones give you abilities. Those abilities are RNG to upgrade with Stigma Stones. So to buy those, you have to spend a bunch of money in game, like a ton of money. We're talking 39, 40 million Kana for one possibility of upgrading something. And that's a possibility of it upgrading. So not only do you get to level 80, but then you're broke and you have a possibility of upgrading your material when there's a bunch of people around you when you're doing your dailies and weeklies that have put money in the game or spent a ton of time in the game, and they're way more geared than you because you haven't upgraded your material yet. So not only did you make it to level 80, congratulations, you're still broke, but also there is an RNG system by upgrading the material that you have so you can be more competitive or be better at PvE. And this is where it gets a little iffy, because there's no way else to actually get Kana. Like you get Kana by doing your dailies and weeklies, and obviously participating in these dungeons here. Like this one's a 2 for 6 80 plus dungeon here, and there's also another one in the middle here, actually a couple of them, and you can actually participate in these in normal, hard modes, these instances, and these will give you gear to drop, things to look forward to, things to grind towards, and this is great group content. But the thing is that there's only a few of these. As you see here on this map, there's only a few different garrisons here. There's one 80 plus solo instance at level 80, and then you have this one, the Prometheus Forge here, and then you have the hard mode here too as well. And if you go to the menu and you go to where you're at right now, which is Lacrum, that's the only ones at Lacrum. So if you go to Damaha right here, you'll see that there is another one here too, which is the Vault one here. And then you got another one down here, which is Stellan Laboratory. And then you got another one down here, which is the Estate. So these are all 80 plus dungeons that you can definitely do. And it all takes place in PvE/PvE zones. And So if you're a PvE player, there's really nothing for you if you're trying to get away from PvP. You're going to run into people regardless. That is one of the things that I wanted to mention here, is that it is inevitable for you to stay away from PvP. It is just that's right. If you love PvE, this is not the game for you at all. PvP is an essential part of the end game. If you don't like PvP, then you don't play. So this is the weird thing, that my leveling experience from level 1 to level 80 was completely solo with no open world PvP at all. Like zero. And then when you get to level 76 plus, you get into the PvP zones and you're like, wow, okay, this all ended up being a solo experience that turned into a completely grouped experience, and then also a completely PvP experience. So there's no PvE to have except the dungeons that you just saw. Like the dungeons on the map, those are the only dungeons in the game. So you get a handful of dungeons, PvE content, your dailies and weeklies, that's it. And then and you can't do anything solo. Like there's one solo dungeon at level 80 plus. The rest of it is all group content. If you're not rolling with the group to do your dailies and weeklies, you're going to be hit by PvP. You better be prepared. Good luck. Here is the shops. So you have the Black Cloud Market right here, and then you have the Gold Sand Traders here. So if you click the Gold Sand Traders here, and then you click the Black Market, the Gold Sand Traders here are the in-game currency. So in-game currency, like this right here, it costs Kana, which is in-game currency. You buy these gold ingots, and to buy these gold ingots, or any of these pieces down here, you can actually purchase these, and then you can use these gold ingots to purchase other items within that store. Now, it does take a lot of Kana, and there's a lot of grinding to do, but you can purchase customizable options without paying a dime. So if you see in the costumes here, this one right here is the Red Vine Wrapper. So, or this one here is the traditional robe right here, the Infernal Garb. There's a lot of things that you can customize with your character here, and these all take in-game currency. Like this one you can actually just straight up buy for almost 10 million Kana, and you could buy all of these different options to make your character look as different as you want it to be. That one's interesting. There's also different things that you can buy instead of just outfits. So if you go to hairpin, wings, you could buy different types of wings. These all cost in-game currency. So if you grind enough and you didn't want to really pay anything, there's ways to get things to customize your character to the way you want to. And I think that's a very good option to have. But the problem is that Kana right here, I only have 5 million, and me being at the end game and me selling basically everything that I've had that is tradable, it's very hard to make money unless you're willing to put in the extreme amount of time, or you can purchase it from the actual money market called the Black Cloud Market, which is right down here on your space bar on where the menu is. So the Black Cloud Marketplace right here. So this actually shows you all these different types of things. This is not Kana right here. This is actual different currency. It's called BC coin, and you have to buy BC coin to buy any of these. So this is where the pay to win comes in, because there's a ton of stuff in here with styles, costumes, pet, housing, mounts that you can purchase here that you can't really get from anywhere else. So if you see the in-game stuff here, there's nothing that you can buy that is besides just customizing your character. If you want an actual mount, you'll have to actually purchase it. And if you see here that you can get horses, you can get basically anything that you want, but it's 2,000 BC coins. And how much is BC coins altogether? Now, if you buy something from the Black Black Cloud Marketplace, you can actually, this is tradable, and it can be it's stackable, it's in the Legion warehouse, and it can be brokered, which means that you can go to the marketplace and actually just buy it with real money and then sell it in here for in-game currency if you really want to, or you can trade it to a friend if they don't have enough money. So buying BC coins, let's just say this one, the Ruddy Tail Heron, this is just a basic mount here. Let's just take this one into account. There's one for 1,200, one for 2,000. So, and there's the highest one right here, which is 31.99. So let's take a look to see how much this actually is. So if we go to buy BC coin, here is where it gets expensive in this game, is that if you want anything here, 1,200 Black Cloud Marketplace currency, Black Cloud coin, you can't buy 1,200 of it. You can't buy just 2,000 of it. So 1,600, you would technically need to buy the mount, the one that was 2,000. You would need to buy the 1,600, which is that, and then the 400 one here. So each of the mounts here are, it's either could be, you know, anywhere between $15 to $25 for a basic mount. Now you saw the one that was $31.99. That one would cost you $50 in game. Because if you're buying the in-game currency like here with actual money, this is where it gets really pay to win, because this is very expensive. Yeah, like buying, okay, it's a free game. And it's okay to put microtransactions in game to a certain degree. When you have a game that has basically deleted your leveling experience, thrown you into a PvP zone that you probably don't even want to be in, makes you broke as hell by the time you get there, and now it forces you to feel like you need to buy these certain things. So the mounts increase your movement speed, obviously. So if you don't want to do that, you're going to be running around everywhere, and you need a mount. So if you want to purchase a mount that you want, you're going to have to spend $25 to $50 in this game to get something, to get one item. And that's where I think it just gets to the point where there's just mobile monetization over the entire game, is because that's just the mounts. This is not including the transformation potions and stuff like that I'm going to get into right now. Let's take a look at other things here. There's promotion, style, boosts. This is where it gets their AP and XP, title cards, and transformations. So these things too, all of these are definitely pay to win items. And let me explain that to you, because the in-game items here definitely help you along. So this transformation thing is definitely the most pay to win thing that I've seen in the game. So if you click on this, in the bottom, it says increases attack speed by 45%, movement speed by 45%, physical attack by 90%. So this increases basically almost all of your stats here. And each one has a little bit of a different take on this. This one you can use, right? So if you use this, it transforms your character, and it transforms your character into different types of character, different looking characters that you've seen from level 1 to level 80 in soloable dungeons, etc. It'll change you into one of these characters, or something that they just thought was clever, like this one right here. So if So this is tab target, so I can't fight anything right now. So if you see that, but then if you click this one, you know, you can change the way you look completely, and it gives you a bonus stat. So if you're out in the open world and you're running around without one of these potions on, or without any of these scrolls, that means that player that's attacking you is going to have so much more boost on you, because he's going to have so much more HP or so much more attack speed than you, because you don't have a transformation potion or scroll. And this doesn't even scratch the surface on things that you can purchase into the game. But Other things that annoy me besides just pay to win stuff, if you want to spend money on the game, that's completely up to you. But it's also about the leveling experience and how it introduces you to the game. So from my level 1 to level 80, I was experiencing all of these maps that you have to go through for the quests. So when I got there, I saw a bunch of like just entire sections of the map just completely unused. Now, I saw that in the very beginning. You might have seen that in my first look video, but in this case, it's just like they're there. Like the sections are there. Like there's a whole part of the map that's there, and it's just completely useless to you. Like it doesn't drop anything, or they don't let you through. I'll show you a couple of places that I've seen throughout this entire experience that I just thought it was weird that I just couldn't get into. So this is the first one. Okay, now we're at the Frost Shard Caverns. I'm like, oh, this place looks cool. What is this? You know anything in here? Sorry, this place is off limits. This literally guy says this place is off limits. Sorry, this place is off limits. There's nothing here. It's literally just cornered off, and they gated off this entire area, right? Because it's just not used anymore. Or it's used maybe for like an event or something like that, and it's just like no explanation, no nothing. And out of all of these places to go here and explore in Alessia, which is Heron, this whole area which you're first leveling up, you go to Baleria, and you go to Ingison, all of this area right here, everything that I've ever explored. If you are an explorer and you like to find different things, find treasure chests, find things in the open world, this game is definitely not for you. You know why? Because there's absolutely nothing in this game. Nothing at all. Yeah, pissed off. You know why? Because there's nothing in this game. It's just large plots of land, and all these plots of land have absolutely nothing in them. I've explored almost everywhere in this game, and let me tell you that there is no secrets to behold. There are no treasure chests, no anything in the open world. If you do find something, it is mechanics from an older patch that are no longer used or part of a quest that you don't have. So that's the only things in the real world that and that are available are just killing these monsters, and the loot is just very odd. Like the only thing that drops from all of these mobs, if they're within level of you, is if they're too low of level. Like 74 is fine because I'm level 80. But if you're down to like a level 60 something, they won't drop anything for you. I mean, literally zero. They won't drop anything for you. They won't drop money. They won't drop older gear. They won't drop anything. It's just useless for you to be there. And that's why all of these places are literally just barren. So like killing this one, like he'll just what he'll do is he'll drop something for me, right? And look, guess what? It's vitality. So you'll get the starlight stuff from these people. You'll get membranes, crystals, vitality. And if you see that, the thing is, it's untradeable and cannot be brokered. It says vitality that shines like starlight. Sell it to a merchant. That's the only thing that drops from these. And then you also get these things called mana stones. And some of these mana stones are garbage. Like magical attack has nothing to do with you, especially if you're a physical character. There's a bunch of these items that just drop from these characters. There's no epic loot. There's no epic weapons or armor that drop from any of these people. Now you're saying, well, what about world bosses? That's a good question, because world bosses actually do drop gear. Like if you see here on the map, there's one right here. This guy's a little bit less. Yeah, I think he's like level 70, so he won't drop anything for me because I'm level 80. But once you did get to him, it's either you were already above his level anyways, and all the things that he dropped wasn't as good as what you get in the progression of you leveling up. So it just seems like there's a bunch of stuff in the open world that are absolutely useless. This whole section here, they didn't even invite you in. I guess this was like an end game section at some point in the game, and at this point It's literally the Wailing Dunes and the Howling Cauldron. It's just filled full of monsters that don't give anything. Like, there's nothing to explore here, nothing to behold. They just, like, the developer said, okay, we want everybody in a different section of the world. We don't want them here anymore, and literally just abandon this entire place. This place is freaking gigantic, and they just abandoned it. There's just nothing here. There's even like places where you can actually go to. There's like an encampment here, and they deleted the encampment. If you see here, like, you can transport to all these other places, but here they just deleted it off the map. So you see these monsters here, and the monsters are pretty cool, and they drop absolutely nothing. And all of these monsters actually drop absolutely nothing. Let me show you here. Is that okay? What's up? Nothing. So there's just no point of you being here, or anybody being here for that matter. So these are the things that are like extreme negatives of the game. Is that the positives of this game overall is, the armor, it looks great. You know, you get minions, you get pets, that's cool. The level 1 to level 80 grind was very easy to get to, and I understand how that could be appealing to people, but that's not why people play MMOs. They play it for an experience. And simply put, they put this MMO in here, and they just like forgot all these sections. They forgot everything. They just deleted literally half of this game, and it's just not appreciated. And basically your adventure getting to level 80 it's not memorable at all, you know? And then getting to when you are level 80, the only thing that you can do is open world PvP, right? So you got open world PvP here in Lacrim. This whole entire thing is all your dailies and weeklies. That's all you spend your days or your time on. Then you go into these random dungeons. There's not many at 80 plus, not many at all. And then that's where you get gear and stuff that you can use. So you got open world PvP, a few dungeons to do. And then you got this thing called siege battles, which are a bunch of different people, like a ton of different people. And the amount of people in this siege is like way too many for this game to handle. So I couldn't even get anything of this. Like, if I could just go to this social hub, my frames per second gets so bad that it's terrible. Imagine this section times like 10. And then you get this whole PvP battle, and there's no way to PvP anybody if your frames per second is at 5. Nobody cares, and nobody wants to do that. So overall, my experience is this game populated? As you can see here, it is packed. But my leveling experience was extremely boring. And besides the solo dungeons that I did was, I don't know, it just seemed very, just the entire game is just, it's disappointing. It seems like there's a ton of potential here, but it's just completely not used, and the developers went to more of a pay-to-win aspect for absolutely everything, with this mobile-esque monetization with the Black Cloud market, which things are just extremely expensive. Like, some of these things are more than Black Desert Online. And Black Desert Online has things for $30. There's things for way more than that in here. So going into this, it just seems that you're just going to be spending more money than anything. If you want to level this character up to level 80, there are no paywalls for anything. There are no, there's no, humps to get over. But once you get to the end game, like, the whole point of you getting to the end game is to explore and to have fun and do things with friends, but you're just so limited, and you're such at a disadvantage when you're going against players that have been playing for a while, because you just have absolutely no way of beating them, because it's not really talent based, it's stat based. And when you get to that point, it's just, you're at such a disadvantage that it just dissolves the experience altogether. So overall, I don't think I'm going to be coming back to this game unless they completely change or go back to the 3.0 update. And that's what I have to say about this. You saw my frustration, you heard it, and my final review of this game is a 5.7 out of 10. It's just a generic experience. The entire game is a fetch quest, and I just can't get beyond that. So if I'm in the mood for PvP and I wanted to spend some money on an MMO, maybe, but there are other options out there that are way better than this. So that's my score, guys. If you like this video, please comment and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.